If you're not paying attention to what is going on in Indigenous politics in Saskatchewan, let me break it down for you. So the Métis Nation of Saskatchewan, which is a federally recognized government for the Métis citizens of Saskatchewan, held their swearing-in ceremony just a couple of days ago. This is after the election that took place last month. But it wasn't without some drama where two elected Métis representatives were not allowed to take their oath of office. And there was a press conference happening from the two elected officials in about an hour. So during the swearing-in ceremony that happened on Tuesday at Dakota Dunes, two of the elected reps were actually physically prevented from entering the room. And I was there in attendance to watch the swearing-in ceremony, and you could hear banging on the door from the people that were not allowed in. And what I'm reading online is that media is reaching out to the Métis Nation of Saskatchewan, basically saying what is going on, which they are linking reporters to the statement that came out back in April. And basically, it has to do with 4 of the elected officials at the time being under investigation for the way that an employee was allegedly treated within the MNS, a top senior staffer, essentially. Now, here is where I insert my opinion as somebody that has a proficiency in Indigenous governance. Like, building Indigenous governance and working on Indigenous governance models is quite literally what I do. This is absolutely crazy. Like, I know that there are people on both sides of the fence on this because it's politics, everybody takes their side. But at the end of the day, it is absolutely wild that there are people that are constitutionally protected roles under the Métis Constitution being barred from taking their oath of office because there are internal investigations and employee grievances and the whole thing happening behind the scenes. And what is concerning about this and why people should be concerned is that at the end of the day, what we're saying is that the election that took place last month, essentially, it doesn't really matter. In order for these women to take their positions again, allegedly they need to give an apology, and there's some other stipulations apparently involved in this from what I'm being told. But that doesn't matter. And I know that that sucks for some people to hear, but if we start measuring and start like gatekeeping politicians and elected people's ability to take their seats, that kind of is a problem. So what this is basically telling us is that the votes that took place last month, those ballots aren't even worth the paper they were printed on. There are a lot of concerning pieces around this to the point where I don't even know where to begin. But what I'm finding especially concerning is the lack of transparency around why this is actually taking place to the citizens. 2 voices are missing from the table. That's a problem. But I'm heading to the press conference. I'll keep you updated.